During a fight scene in The Dark Knight Rises, Batman exhorts Catwoman to put away her weapon. No killing, he says. No guns. Sadly, in the Century 16 theater last night, life did not imitate that bit of art, and the midnight premiere of that film became a killing ground. Tonight, families are reeling, a young man is in custody, and police are trying to figure out how to disarm the suspect's apartment loaded with explosive booby traps. ABC's David Wright begins our coverage tonight from the Denver suburb of Aurora. David?
Good evening, Bill. We're just a few yards away from the multiplex where that massacre took place. At this hour, the coroner is at a local high school with families who have been agonizing all day about their missing loved ones. And outside that high school, as you can see, people are crying. The midnight showing of The Dark Knight Rises. Fans across the country, a summons as irresistible as the bat signal. At the Century 16 Theater here in Aurora, the crowd included Jennifer Seeger, seated in the second row, a young couple with their 2 kids, and Jessica Gowie, a 25-year-old aspiring sportscaster who goes by the professional name Jessica Redfield. She tweeted her friends from inside the theater. "Movie doesn't start for 20 minutes, she wrote, excitedly, in capital letters. The last tweet she'd ever send at 11:37. About 12:05, right as the credits started to roll, a man in the front row of Theater 9 got up, pretending to take a phone call. He went out the emergency exit, propping open the door behind him. 24-year-old James Egan Holmes was apparently gearing up for an action scene of his own. Police say he had with him a Smith & Wesson assault rifle, a Remington pump-action shotgun, and 2 Glock semi-automatic pistols. 12:39, this was the scene on the screen. Christian Bale acting opposite Michael Caine as Holmes came back through the emergency exit wearing a gas mask. Witnesses say he threw a green canister into the crowd, filling the theater with smoke.
Your eyes are burning, it makes you want to just close them, and then you can't breathe and just makes you want to cough.
As though reenacting a scene from a Dark Knight comic, witnesses say Holmes fired into the air and then started shooting into the crowd.
The first clear sign of it was when the guy that was sitting right next to me actually got shot in the chest.
And all the bullet casings kept falling on my forehead. They were like singeing my forehead.
At that moment, I just remember thinking, I'm not going to die in here. Me and my kids, we are not going to die in here. I need to get them out.
At that point, he takes his gun and he walks a little further, takes a couple steps, and he points it at me. At that point, he has a rifle in my face.
There was a moment where my daughter tripped and I just pulled her up and I was just dragging her and I was just thinking, we just got to get out. I just got to get out the doors, and even if I just fall dead, just get my kids out of here. It was just so horrible.
I got 7 down in Theater 9. 7 down.
Police arrived on the scene less than 2 minutes after the rampage started, but it was chaos.
What's happening? Oh my God.
I've got a child victim. I need rescue at the back door of Theater 9 now.
Yelling fire in a crowded theater may be enough to cause a stampede. Opening fire meant utter pandemonium.
We go out and the first thing we see is a 13, 14-year-old girl with a bullet wound in her leg.
According to witnesses, Holmes tried to blend in with the crowd.
You see, like within the theater, people were just running, he was just walking. He was just walking.
Mr. Holmes was apprehended outside in the back of the theater, and he was apprehended with 3 weapons.
Holmes immediately surrendered. Police observed his hair was dyed orange. He told them, "I am the Joker." He also told them the movie theater, his apartment, and his car were booby-trapped, just like the comic book villain would do. A full hour after the rampage began, the story broke over the airwaves. By then, 18 ambulances were there, triaging the victims and transporting the most serious cases to 6 local hospitals. 12 people killed and 58 injured, 70 victims in all. So many, the police turned the back seats of their cruisers into makeshift ambulances.
Back is full of blood. I don't know if that matters or not. Full of what? Blood.
By 2 a.m., Holmes' apartment block was evacuated as the bomb squad started assessing the booby traps. They were extensive.
I see an awful lot of wires, trip wires, jars full of ammunition, jars full of liquid, things that look like mortar rounds. We have a lot of challenges to get in there safely.
Today, inside dozens of hospital rooms, survivors struggle to make sense of all this.
It was cold and calculated, definitely. It seemed very methodical, just the rate at which he was firing and how he wasn't really moving position. He was just like unloading into the crowd.
And all day long, 10 bodies remained inside the building while law enforcement secured the scene. Their families and friends left waiting and wondering.
Tell me where he is, okay? Find my son. I don't know where he is, okay? Somebody find him and call us. Tell him to call us.
His son never called. Sadly, Alex Sullivan is dead. Late in the day, the authorities finally started to bring out the bodies. Among the dead, Jessica Gawi Redfield, that aspiring sportscaster who was so excited before the movie. Tonight, her mother spoke with Diane Sawyer.
My life is forever changed and forever damaged by one person's horrible, violent choice.
Astonishingly, this was not Jessica's first time in harm's way. Last month, she happened to be in a Toronto food court when a gunman went on a deadly rampage there. Her friend Peter Burns said that experience led her to make the most of every day. In her blog, she wrote, "I was reminded we don't know when or where our time on earth will end, when or where we will breathe our last breath." This morning, when Peter opened up his Facebook page, there was a message from Jessica.
It said, "Hey."
A message she wrote just before the movie.
It goes, "Hey, are you guys back in town?" You know, just it was her checking in. And
by the time you got that message, she was already dead.
Yeah.
I'm David Wright for Nightline in Aurora, Colorado.